Derek Ulaya could not do that. He just needed 2 touches. And that is finesse. Class is temporal. Form is eternal. First touch, second touch, far post. And boy, oh boy, to be the goalkeeper of the brilliance of Ian Otieno with that just shows the caliber of the striker. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Lineker Mwiikisa brings to life the hopes of semi-final action for this Green Eagles side. The dance explains it all. Mwiikisa 24.
So, Lineker Mwiikisa, the goal that may just...
The name says it all. This is a special edition coming your way, of course, from Prime Television Studios. I'm your host, John Mark Lukonde, on today's edition of Bola Chat. Yes, special edition because we have with us Zambia's first video analyst. Zambia's first video analyst, and of course, that's none other than Mr. Lineker, as well as Happy Liambo on set with me on today's very, very special edition. Before we even get to our guest, Happy, it's a pleasure to have you, and I can't wait to even see the next jersey you put on.
John, good evening to
Yapakis, Yapakis. Tottenham, Barcelona. The only one I'm waiting to see you wear is Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, no, I'll never put on a Madrid. Just like a Man U jersey. I think those two, I think in my lifetime, I'll never put on such.
But not even by accident.
Not even by accident, John. But it's good to be back, John. I hope I'll be able to provide you with the latest Arsenal jersey. I know that's what you're looking forward to. But I must say it's good to be here, John, and it's good to be back, and looking forward to a great show. Of course, a lot that we talk about. We want to learn more about Zambian football, precisely what does it take to be a video analyst, the technical point of view, and possibly, who knows, John could be the next video analyst at Arsenal.
I'll be giving you stats that don't exist. No, you saw he made 15 footsteps before he struck the ball. Anyway, indeed, Happy is hit the nail on its head. We have, of course, with us Zambia's first video analyst, Lineker Mwiikisa, on set with us today. We're so excited to dive into nothing but, of course, the technical aspect of the game. With us on set, Lineker, how are you doing?
Good evening, John. Thank you for having me. I'm okay, and it's a pleasure to be here on Prime.
Indeed, and of course, for those of you who like to watch football and give your own analysts, we've got a lot of Facebook analysts. They'll tell you, no, you should have used 4-3-3, 3-4-3. Why is it that maybe they are making substitutions? If it was the likes of Jose Mourinho, who made substitutes in the first half, we'll be able to dive into that particular aspect with, of course, the video analyst himself. But before we can even dive into, of course, the analysis type of or side of the game, I want us to also just find out about your career as well. I know 1 or 2 pictures will be circulating, of course, of you in the Chipolo Polo jersey, and of course, wonderful. Way back, taking us back. I don't even know when this was, but tell us about your career and how it did begin, even from the onset.
So my first team I played for Choma United. Before it was changed to Choma United, it was called Sky Stars in Choma. So I played, that was Division 2 football. Then I moved from Choma United, I went to Livingston Pirates. I played for Pirates for 2 seasons. Then I moved to Mazabuka and I played for Nakambala Leopards. From Nakambala Leopards, Green Buffaloes bought me. That was 2009. I moved to Lusaka. I joined Green Buffaloes. 2010, that's the first time I was called up to the national team. In 2011, I was signed by Mpumalanga Black Aces in South Africa.
Okay.
Yes, then I came back to Green Buffaloes. Then I went on loan to Green Eagles. So from Green Eagles, it was a loan for 6 months. Then I went to Mozambique, and I was on loan for 1 season, Costa do Sol. After that season, I finished as a top scorer there. Then I moved to Portugal. I played for Santa Clara there. After Portugal, then I played for Al Bashir in Oman. I came back to Mozambique, to Costa do Sol. After Costa do Sol, I went to another club in Mozambique called Ferroviario da Beira, one of the big teams in Mozambique.
And I also want to find out, you've talked about how you've been able to move within the continent and even beyond as well, going to Portugal, playing in SA, just like, of course, some of the players, the likes of Kennedy Mwene, who for me I think is one of my fan favorite, not just my own. Individuals like Kalaba, who also went on to play for TP Mazembe and whatnot. But you've been able to even have a career that spans a long period of time along different continents. Which one is your best moment when you look back and say, that for me is my favorite?
Best moment in terms of the football or the experience, the culture?
Both.
I would say in terms of the professionalism, of course it has to be Portugal. Because in Portugal the levels of professionalism is just, it's top. I think that's where I learned a lot of even the analysis aspect, where after the training session you receive an email, the analyst sends you your training session where you can improve. In terms of professionalism, the nutrition, the way you plan, the way you rest, Portugal was top. But I think when it comes to the culture, how friendly the people were, the football itself, I think I had a very good time in Mozambique when I played for Costa do Sol.
All right, and let's remind the people out there, in case they have forgotten how lethal you were, and now you are lethal behind the scenes. But we want to show the people in terms of the goals that you used to score. This is a goal that you scored against Deportivo some time back. Just take a listen and also let me know what you think, even in the comment section. Remember that we are live on our Facebook platform, Prime Television Zambia. Drop a comment. And by the way, we are also live. We're also going to be able to read one or two messages if time does allow, even from our WhatsApp platform. So make sure that you join our WhatsApp group. Happy you will be able to shed more light in terms of how you'll be able to join our WhatsApp group right after we look at how lethal Lineker was.
Lineker novamente. Eu estava a falar dos adeptos que pouco ou nada, nesse caso o Desportivo, depois de terem sofrido então o golo, ficaram praticamente mudos. E agora então, com este segundo golo de Lineker, que está bom passo ali de Jojo, muito inteligente Lineker, até podia ter tirado da grande penalidade, teve paciência, teve calma, ninguém do Desportivo ali a pressionar, e Lineker então a fazer o segundo golo para a equipa do Costa do Sol. A festa natural ali dos adeptos do Costa do Sol, que está o Wilson, mas é incrível a passividade da defesa do Desportivo, ninguém foi lá incomodar Lineker, que calmamente fez o segundo.
Lineker Mwiikisa scoring the goal and of course putting the goal and the defender both in the back of the net, taking us back indeed in terms of course how lethal he was. And we want to also dive into, before I even get happy into the conversation, we want to dive into of course the video analyst that he has become. Of course, we've taken a look at where he's coming from, but now he's also ensuring that he's on the bench, giving that tactical analysis in terms of how the opposition team is attacking, and of course with the under-17 women's. And of course, we did even follow up on what Coach Caro had to say, even in terms of Lineker's role, even in the under-17. So this is what she had to say recently, just last week actually. We have been following through.
Even my job as a coach on how to the qualifiers, you'll be able to see the consistency in those 5 games, and I as a coach and the other coaches will tell our training program in line with our opponent's style of play. We'll know which kind of players to use in which kind of positions depending on the kind of opponents that we face. So after the 4th of June, I think Mwiikisa's job gets started. Even my job as a coach on how to formulate training programs also start the kind of players that I'll need to the qualifiers. You'll be able to see the consistency in those 5 games, and I as a coach and the other coaches will tell our training program in line with our opponent's style of play. We'll know which kind of players to use in which kind of positions depending on the kind of opponents that we face. So after the 4th of June, I think Mwiikisa's job gets started. Even my job as a coach on how to formulate training programs, also start the kind of players that I'll need to.
So this is what Coach Caro had to say. Of course, Copper Princesses coach, of course, under 17, when asked to say, all right, tell us about the tactics and also how you're going to be able to apply, because people have been saying in Zambia we have got pante and there's no such thing as tactics, and she refuted to say you need to also understand the other side of the game. And she said that after the 4th of June, when of course the draws are going to be made, then even of course Mwiikisa's job will begin, including hers, in terms of analyzing the opposition teams as well. Even before Happy comes in, I want to get your take, especially that the draw, even post, even what she had to say, even how now the analyst side of you also takes up that particular role once draws are made.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to appreciate Coach Caro. You know, it's not easy in an environment like Zambia to be able to do video analysis. There's a lot of resistance to change. But to have a head coach like Coach Caro who embraces technology, the modern ideologies of football, I think it makes my work very easy. Because if you have superiors who see the need of that, it makes your job easy as an analyst. Like she said, the draws will be earlier on tonight. After the draws now, we know which team we are going to play first. We know which team will play second and third. And I think that's where the real job starts, because all these 4 months now we have to study our opponents and see how we are going to approach those games.
Happy?
Yeah, the job starts after the draws. But now, of course, there are so many soccer followers who would want to know, what does it take, first of all, to become a video analyst? Do we just wake up one day like John and say, no, I want to become a video
We have been analyzing on Bora Chat. What are you saying?
What does it take for one to become a video analyst? By the way, he's the first Zambian video analyst to have gone to the World Cup with the Copper Princesses. So on that one, congratulations, Lineker.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit more about it. What does it take, and what's the importance of video analyst?
I think what it takes to be a video analyst, first of all, you just need to have interest in the game. You just need to have knowledge of the game. Of course, maybe for us, like an ex-professional footballer, we've got that competitive advantage. But anyone can be a video analyst. The most important thing is that you just need to have knowledge of the game. And I think if you've not played football at that level, it's very, very important that you do coaching badges. Because it's in the coaching badges that you are going to understand how the game is analyzed. Because the way the supporters watch and analyze the game is different from you, a professional or a coach, the way the coach analyzes the game. The coach analyzes the game according to the 4 main moments of the game, which is the transition, the possession of the opponent, the possession of your own team, transition from your own team to the opponent, and vice versa. So once you know the main moments of the game, then you know how to analyze the game. You analyze the build-up of the opponent, the way they set up on set pieces. So if you've not played football at that level, I think it's important that you do the badges, which is the E? Then you do the CAF C. By the time you do the CAF C, then you do the video analysis course, where they teach you how to use these softwares, how to do the markings, how to do the live tagging during the game, how to tag actions, and just how to set up the whole technology of the software. I think once you do those, then you're good to go.
So how important is the video analyst when you are talking about the matches being played? Of course, you have talked about the background where you have to look at the opponent, you study there. But now when the match is being played, how easy is it to be, or how difficult is it to be a video analyst at that point in time? Because you have to make, I'm sure there's some moves and tactics that you need to possess when the match is on. So how difficult is it at that point in time?
Okay, before I answer how difficult it is during the match, I'll just take you back. So the analysis, there is a pre-match analysis, there is a live analysis, and there is a post-match analysis. So you don't only, I think most people just think that you just study your opponent and then you give the coaches and that's it. But first of all, remember that the most important stakeholders in this whole analysis is your own team. So the first thing you have to do, you have to film footage during training of your team. If the coach is working on pressing, you have to film the training session, and to make sure that you pick patterns that the coach has been emphasizing on. And if there's a player that is not doing what the coach wants, or if there's a player that is doing what the coach wants, you'll be able to bring it in the session, to show them in the video session, to say this, you were pressing well or you are lagging in pressing. Sometimes you call them like one-on-one session. You show them, because sometimes when you do it as a team, they feel like you're attacking them. So sometimes you pick the individual players and you show them where they can improve on. After that, you do the pre-match analysis of your opponent. You do a SWOT analysis of their strengths, the weaknesses, and you see where the weakness is and how you can score the opponent. Then you show the coaches first, then you show it to the players, then you do it departmental, where you show the defenders, you show the midfielders, you show the strikers also the weakness of the defenders that they will face, and then you go into the match. And now during the match, there's what is called live analysis, where you do live tagging using the video analysis software. You connect the video camera to your laptop, you use your capture card, and you go to that software. So during the match, you are tagging actions live, and you have to pick the 4 best moments, at least not more than 4, that you are going to show the coaches at halftime, because you have to show the players as well. You correct them using visuals, and not only to say that maybe you are not tracking back or you are not manning your player well. You show them using visuals. You show the coaches. So the live analysis aspect is one key aspect, because during the match now you'll be able to see the way the team is shifting formations, which side they are attacking on, how is their build up, which side are they overloading more. So you'll be able to know, and you say, okay, they are overloading this side, what do we do? Which side do they look more vulnerable? This side. One good example, I think, when we played against Benin in the World Cup qualifier, we analyzed how Benin were taking their set pieces and the signals that they were showing to take these set pieces. They actually scored, I think, 1 or 2 goals during the qualifiers using these same signals in the set pieces. And then they did it against Zambia, and I could see when they did their signals, the players remembered what we did in the analysis. They communicated in the box, and Benin were trying to play that short corner, which they scored during the qualifiers, and we got the ball, we even transitioned. So it's such kind of moments also that you look into as an analyst. Then after the game, you have to do the post-match analysis, where you look at the things that you did well, where you can improve on going into the next game. So it's quite a lot of work as an analyst. Even when people say that I want to be an analyst, I can assure you, you only be sleeping 2 hours.
Yes. And run us through. You've talked about how you're able to analyze, and that's a good thing. But I want to also find out, let's say we've been analyzing the game. It's 45 minutes. The whistle is blown, and the players are rushing into the touchline. Run us through how a dressing room setting looks like when you come into the fray, because we're just given about 15 minutes for that particular break. At what point, how many minutes are you given as an analyst, and how do you also go about it? Do you have screens in the dressing room? Run us through that moment.
Yes, so we have a projector in the dressing room. So in an example of the under-17, I'm the only one there, but I think very soon we'll be able to get support, because you cannot do it alone as an analyst. At least minimum you should be 2 or 3 in a very good environment. Some teams are 4 or 5 analysts. So for me, I have to, sometimes during the qualifiers, I would be up there filming and doing the live tagging, because then I have to go down, rush with my laptop at halftime. I have to sprint from where I was filming from to go to the dressing room, where we've already set up a projector there, and I connect my laptop to the projector. And then I mark the clips that I'm supposed to show them, the 4 clips that I'm supposed to show, maybe 2 for the coaches and 2 for the players.
How many minutes must the 4 clips be?
They are very short clips. Maybe one clip could be 30 seconds. I think my time, I don't even exhaust more than 5 minutes to show, and for the coaches to correct what we've seen. I don't take more than 5 minutes, because remember, I have to sprint back to the spot before the second half kicks off to be able to film. But when it comes to the World Cup, the good part about the World Cup, there's what they call the FIFA data platform. So they film the games for you in tactical view, in broadcast view, the PGM, all the angles.
So everything is sent to you?
Everything is just sent to you as the
But in Africa?
You have to do the filming. That's why you need at least 3 analysts, so that the other one is filming, the other one is doing the live tagging, Then the other one is on the bench. So those two that are up there, they are communicating either using a walkie-talkie or any communication device to the analyst on the bench, like we see it with the big teams like Real Madrid or Man City. They communicate to the analyst on the bench, and then the analyst on the bench passes on the information to the head coach. Remember, those analysts that are up there are watching the game in tactical view. So their view of the game is better than the view of the head coach and everyone who's on the bench. Because on the bench, you don't really watch the game on a very good angle. It's difficult for you to see what's happening.
We were talking offset that even in rugby, the coaches actually have an upper view kind of perspective. But when you look at the likes of the Guardiolas, the Mourinhos, who make substitutions in 25 minutes after the game has begun, it seems like they've got that particular mind. Is it possible to ever get to a level where you are able to read the game even just from the touchline, even on your own?
Yes, you can read the game, but there are so many dynamics in the game. No matter how good a coach is, no wonder these coaches, they've got this big backroom staff. No matter how good the coach is, it's impossible for you to see everything that is happening. There's so much happening. Remember, I told you about the 4 main moments. They are transitioning. There's their shape. There's the way they are building up. There's a goalkeeper's weakness. You have to study which leg the goalkeeper is weak. You cannot do that on your own as a head coach. That's why they've got these analysts, the 4 or 5 analysts. There's a game that Manchester United played against Barcelona. Manchester United had 6 analysts up in the stands and one, so they had about 7 analysts in total. And there was one that was just told to look at the goalkeeper. There was one that was just analyzing the midfield. There was one that was just analyzing the striking force. There was one that was just analyzing the transitions and all that. So it's impossible for one coach to see everything. Even the substitutes that you spoke about Guardiola, it's because he receives communication from the other analysts up there who tell him. Because when you are on the bench, it's difficult for you to even see the shape of the opposition, the way they are moving. But when you are up there, you are able to see the shape, how they are recovering, which player is slow in recovery, where are the spaces. You can only see them when you're up there.
Before Happy asks the last set of questions, just a reminder for those of you who are watching for the very first time, Bola Chat has a WhatsApp group. You could be able to join our WhatsApp group. Get your phone, type add me, send a direct message to the number, Happy, correct me if I'm wrong, 0977 989 576. Am I right?
Correct.
0977 989 576. I'll be able to repeat the number, so don't worry. We have over 700 individuals in that particular WhatsApp group. So make sure that you get your phone, type add me, send a direct message to that particular number. I'll be able to repeat it at the end, and I'm sure it's going to be on the screen as well. The number ending with 76. I'm sure it's going to be on the screen. Even before Happy comes in with his last set of questions, I'll give him 2 questions. I want to get your perspective in terms of the national team. Because sometimes you watch the national team and sometimes you watch it with friends. They say, my guys, why in a tactic? It's almost like they just told them, it was at their 11, it was at their 17, guys. So what about the national team? Do we have video analysts? And if we do, how many do we have? And how effective has it been? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in 2012 we won without an analyst.
I can't remember whether we had an analyst.
We probably didn't.
Anyway,
I'm trying to look back.
And I think it's something that most of our fans would agree with us, that technology, I know, is something that has just come into these sports, mostly football. But in 2012, I can't remember very well.
I think we had an analyst. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lineker.
But again, maybe Lineker will be able to help us. In the past, at the national team, is this thing that is coming in just now for video analysts, or it's something that has been happening way back?
And just maybe in Africa it didn't reach.
Yes, or possibly in Africa, yes, we can say even in the past, the Africa Cup of Nations, we have been going there. Do they have such, or we are just trying to evolve as time is evolving also?
My first encounter to do video analysis was in 2011 when I played for Mpumalanga Black Aces in South Africa. I think also I learned a lot. I was very young when I moved to South Africa. I must say South Africa is a very, very professional league. Because as 2011, we used to have video analysis at Black Aces. 2011. Our coach was Craig Grossley. So we didn't have an actual video analyst, but we had a performance analyst who was more doing GPS tracking, our distance. He was
GPS tracking.
Yes, in 2011.
We heard of GPS when it comes to vehicles.
So then the coach would bring videos and analyze. So for 2012, I'm not really sure if we had a video analyst, but I can rest assure you, between Patrice and Hevrena, they used to do video analysis of their opponent. They would get the video of their next opponent, and they would do post-match analysis of themselves, because they would just get the game that they played and they'll say, here we did not do well, but maybe they didn't have an actual analyst, but they did analysis. So as far as back as 2011, I used to do video analysis. So it's only now that it's coming to Zambia now, but it has been there for quite a long time.
Even for the national team?
For the national team, like I told you, I think most of the foreign coaches that come, they come with their own backroom stuff. For example, now we've got Coach Avram Grant. He's got his own analyst. Coach Nora, she's got her own analyst as well. So for the foreign coaches that have come to Zambia, almost all of them, they come with their own analyst.
I don't know, John, how expensive it is to have a video analyst. But look, if Lineker is telling us 2011, when he was in South Africa, they had this video analyst who was able to do these works, John. I'm meant to believe that even in our league, I think we still have a long way to go. I don't think most of these particular clubs that we have in Zambia, the big club, we're talking of Zesco United, Power, possibly Nkana, the likes of Zanaco and the like. I don't think, John, we have these people in position of helping the coaches. In the end, John, you might think it's just the coaches that are failing. Meanwhile, there's no an extra, I think, helper in terms of these video analysts. Because when you read critically, John, they are a very important part of the game of football.
True.
Yes, and you see, because from what I was able to read a bit, they have to do even reports at the end of the match. Where he's talking about sitting down, looking at where they make mistake, where they're supposed to do. And I think this is where we are lagging behind. We could be blaming a lot of these Zambian coaches in the league. Meanwhile, they lack that human resource to be able to help them in that regard, John. How I wish we could have so many of Lineker's, I'm sure, as types that could be able to come in and help in these clubs. I don't know, is it that expensive to purchase these gadgets, Lineker, or you can only source them possibly from FIFA or something?
I wouldn't say the gadgets are cheap, but I think a video analyst, the first thing that you need, the most important thing you need is a camera and a laptop. And I'm sure all the clubs in the Zambia Premier League, all of them, they've got video cameras. All of them, they've got laptops. But we've been crying. Should be 2016-2017 season, we had the Zambian club, if I'm not mistaken, should have been Zesco United. They were seventh in the CAF rankings. Yeah. Now we are, is it 72? 72. The best ranked Zambian club is 72. So we've been crying about the plummeting standards of our football in Zambia. But what's causing that? We need to look at the governance aspect of the game. We have to evolve to the modern ideologies of football. There's no way you can be in CAF. You want to compete against the likes of Sundowns, you want to compete against the likes of Simba, and you're not practicing best practice in your team. So best practice starts from evolving to these modern ideologies. I think the biggest outdoing for Zambian teams has been change management. I think there's been a lot of resistance to change, because there's this narrative where they say if receiving a sevens in Zambia, Zambia receive sevens. But if it's working elsewhere, why can't it work here? And this is what has brought us to where we are now. We are plummeting in the rankings because we don't want to evolve. We don't want to practice best practice. So I think the governance aspect has to change. The ZPL has to help us in implementing these deliberate policies where clubs will just be forced. They'll tell you before you can compete in the 2026 season, you need to have a video analyst on your bench. You need to have a psychologist on your bench. You need to have a nutritionist. Once we keep up with the modern ideologies of football, when it comes to talent, I can assure you Zambia is one of the countries with the best talent. But we just need to catch up with the world now, and we'll be able to compete at the highest level.
Lineker, we've run out of time, and of course it's been a pleasure having you. And just a reminder for those of you just joining us that we have a WhatsApp group in case you want to join the conversation. Those of you who've sent your messages on Facebook, thank you so much. And of course, if we had more time, we'd have been able to read them, but we have to wrap up. And just a reminder that in case you want to join our ever-growing WhatsApp group, all you have to do is get your phone, type add me, and you'll be added to our ever-growing WhatsApp group. And of course, the number that you have to type add me and send to direct message is 0977 989 576. I repeat, 0977 989-576. I'm sure it's going to be on the screen, of course, or if not on the screen already, from Happy Liambo, Lineker, of course, Zambia's first video analyst, and myself, John Maklukonde. Thank you so much for watching. We'll end with a clip of Lineker, of course, not on the sidelines, but when he was on the pitch, scoring those goals, even when he was playing, even, of course, in his playing days. We'll be able to pick up a conversation with him on another day. Thank you so much for watching.
That's the maturity I was talking about, Matimba. The young Derek Ulaya could not do that. He just needed 2 touches. And that is finesse. Class is temporal. Form is eternal. First touch, second touch, far post. And boy, oh boy, to beat a goalkeeper of the brilliance of Ian Otieno with that just shows the caliber of the striker. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Lineker Mwiikisa brings to life the hopes of semi-final action for this Green Eagles side. The dance explains it all. Mwiikisa 24.
So, Lineker Mwiikisa, the goal that may just...
De facto, essas coisas dos golos dá nisto. Lineker. E golo! Lineker novamente. Eu estava a falar dos adeptos que pouco ou nada, nesse caso o Desportivo, depois de terem sofrido então o golo, ficaram praticamente mudos. E agora então, com esse segundo golo de Lineker, que está, bom passo ali de Jojo, muito inteligente Lineker, até podia ter tirado da grande penalidade, teve paciência, teve calma, ninguém do Desportivo ali a pressionar, e Lineker então a fazer o segundo golo para a equipa do Costa.